Well, it's a scene that we see every year before this great rivalry game. The Kennel camp out. The students want the very best spots inside this great venue for the best rivalry in college basketball out west. The Gales of St. Mary's on the road to take on Ryan Nemhard, Ben Gregg, and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Kennel is rocking as it always is, especially so tonight with these top two teams. Same as it ever was. St. Mary's 8-0, Gonzaga 7-1. The Gales, the undefeated team, coming on the road with a one-game lead in the West Coast Conference. And hi, everybody, as we pan down from those students here inside the Kennel. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham. We love being here for this game.
It's unbelievable, and it's a great day of college basketball. We talked about the 3 top 10 matchups on ESPN all day long. This is the 4th matchup, and while there's no national rankings against either one of these two teams, this rivalry in this game might be more important than any other game in college basketball this weekend.
A critical game in conference play, and two teams that are on the upward trend. I mean, both teams playing really well. Yep. Let's start with Gonzaga. Nolan Hickman has changed the feel of this Zags team.
Yeah, he has, and he's taken a little bit of a leadership role. He's having a lot of fun. He's bringing the energy. He said part of being a Gonzaga Bulldog is enjoying the culture of joy and fun, and he's started to bring that and has developed that leadership role as this season has progressed. And as the season progressed, he's been playing a lot better over the last 5 games, averaging 17.2 points per contest, shooting the ball really well from beyond the arc, and coming off a game against LMU that you and I called here on Tuesday night where he had 24 points.
That was his career high. Meanwhile, the Goose has taken flight for St. Mary's.
Yeah, and before the start of the year, Randy Bennett told me Augustus Marciulionis is ready to take that step. So many guards in this program have. But the first 7 games were a struggle, and he struggled, the team struggled. 3-4 record. But over the last 16, check out the numbers, 14 and basically 6, and they're 14-2 over that 16-game stretch, and he's put his name in consideration for being Conference Player of the Year.
What a scene and a huge game tonight here in Spokane. Gonzaga and St. Mary's, we are underway, and it'll be the Zags who have the ball first. Gonzaga would like to play a little more up-tempo. Gales want to grind the game down. Graham Ike, who's been on a scoring surge, matched up against Mitchell Saxon and hits his first shot of the night.
A great decision to go to him early. Remember the second half, they started the second half getting the ball to him and allowing him to start to dominate the paint. And when they did that, it opened up their entire offense.
We saw the starting lineup for St. Mary's. Lots of experience on the Gales side. Lots of size, strength. It's a physical team, great rebounding team.
It's one of the best rebounding teams in the country by every single measure that you could look at.
Saxon drives, got knocked down, no whistle. Here comes Gonzaga. Nemhard blows right by Mahaney, and he draws the foul.
That's the one thing you could ill afford to do. Gonzaga's going to look to run on makes, on steals, on misses. They are looking to get out in transition at all time. And if you don't get back, Ryan Nemhard, number 0 there in the starting lineup for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, he is outstanding at pushing the ball up the floor and trying to drive and get to your body and get to the free throw line.
We show those starters on both sides, Sean, and we'll see those 5 players on each side a lot tonight. These teams are not relying on the bench very much.
No, the amount of minutes, the raw number of minutes that these starters are playing, they rank in the top 60 nationally. St. Mary's ranks in the top 15 nationally as far as minutes played by starters on the season.
So the first 3 points of the game for Gonzaga. Mahaney double team trying to get through it. And finally does find Dukas for 3, in and out, no good.
The press caused problems for St. Mary's on this floor a year ago when College Game Day was here and Jay Billis and Dan Shulman were on the call. They went to that press and the Gales turned it over, and that allowed Gonzaga to create separation.
Hickman to Ike. We saw that on Tuesday night. We see it again here Saturday night. First 5 of the game for Gonzaga. Marciulionis, Mahaney in the corner. That 3 no good. Dukas crashing the offensive boards. Extra pass. Marciulionis gave up the jumper to get inside, and he misses. But St. Mary's is going to grab another loose ball.
We talk about the Gales. They rank 5th in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage. They do a great job crashing the glass, but a good job defensively to not give up any points.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to convert. You get 3 offensive rebounds on 1 possession. You got to knock down one of those shots.
St. Mary's still has not scored. Ryan Nemhard. Ben Gregg, who likes to shoot the 3. I don't know about that one. Came up way short.
State. You got me.
Again, Marciulionis with the drive, flipped it up. Saxon gets fouled. Watson was underneath him. Well, that's going to be a foul against Anton Watson.
Dave, I want to go back to a possession that you mentioned. We saw this on Tuesday night. They love to get Hickman into the center of that paint at that logo and force that last line of the defense to make a decision. Do you step to Hickman, or do you backtrack and try to take Graham Ike out of the play, and then Hickman goes all the way for the layup? He reads that play really well, and when you get caught in no man's land, he's going to throw it up, and Ike is going to be able to finish.
Jefferson with the drive. Again, no good. St. Mary's 0 for 7 from the field to start this game.
One of the must-haves that Randy Bennett talked about at shoot-around is you got to have some composure. They need that composure right now because this start is a nightmare start for the Gales.
Again, that pressure just taking a little extra time. Abe Mahaney, who's really not been shooting the ball as well lately with the left hand. And again, they're going to call a foul against Gonzaga, trying to box out Saxon. This time it'll be against Nemhard. Mark Few, 2 times to the Final Four, 2 times to the national championship game, 700-plus wins in his 25th year. One of the great coaches in the history of the sport. They are going to take a look at this last play. Hook and hold type review, something like that.
Hook and hold towards the end of the North Carolina game. But you're watching the rebound on the left side, and it is a hook and hold.
It is.
That should be, it's a classic hook and hold. Nemhard reaching underneath, grabbing with 2 arms. Mitchell Saxon goes to box out. Watch the hold there and the pull. And I think that's probably what's going to garner this a hook and hold upgrade.
So does that mean free throws plus the ball?
Yes. So that could get the Gales on the scoreboard to start with, but this is actually not the worst thing in the world for Randy Bennett. He doesn't have to burn a timeout. He can talk to his guys and start trying to settle them down to find the composure that's necessary to handle this environment. There's a lot of loud environments today in college basketball. None are going to be louder than here.
No.
And you can talk about size of student sections, size of arenas, the games are played in, and how fantastic it is. Allen Fieldhouse, unbelievable environment early today for that game against Houston. It's not about the size of the student section. It's how loud they are, how engaged they are. Phenomenal environment, one of the best in the country, and it's a reason why the Zags very rarely lose on this home floor.
And it starts when the players first come out on the court. I think we are going to have a hook and hold. So we'll get the explanation from our officiating crew. So Mitchell Saxon's going to shoot free throws, and then the Gales will keep the ball.
Yep. So, I mean, that was a quick and easy look. Saxon will get to the free throw line. On the season, 62%.
Well, St. Mary's still hasn't scored. 0 for 8 from the field, and now 0 for 1 at the free throw line. But finally, the first point for St. Mary's. 5-time West Coast Conference Coach of the Year, 4 regular season, 3 tournament titles, even going up year after year against the powerful Zags program. The 2 greatest coaches in the history of this conference, again tonight, are going head-to-head.
With Duke Carolina, who did you equate it to earlier today when we were talking?
Yeah, it was Coach K and Dean Smith, or Coach K and Roy Williams. That's what this is in this league.
No doubt. I mean, what these 2 men have done for their respective programs. St. Mary's started from the bottom, and they've challenged their way all the way up. Good job by the Gales. Driving that time, Marciulionis. I tell you, one of the things that they've done a good job of early here is drawing some fouls. And that level of aggressiveness has put 3 fouls already on Gonzaga. And if they can get to the free throw line and manufacture points by driving, it also softens up the defense as far as level of intensity. But to your point, I mean, St. Mary's in the 2000-2001 season, when I was assistant at Pepperdine, they were bottom of the barrel in this conference. And then Randy Bennett took over, And the slow step forward every single year, the progression to then becoming a challenger, a legitimate challenger to the Gonzaga Bulldogs, to make this rivalry what it is, because the Zags have been doing this since 1999.
Ike against Saxon. Ike was just looking to drive, came up short, and a nice defensive rebound by Joshua Jefferson, rather.
That's an errant pass. You've got to limit your turnovers, got to value the possession of the basketball on the road even that much more.
It's usually a real strength of St. Mary's, limiting turnovers. They get extra shots on you by not turning it over. They get extra shots by offensive rebounding the way they do. Shot clock winding down. Hickman will shoot the three with a hand in his face. No good. And then a foul against Ben Gregg. Dukas boxed him out. And Gregg reached over the top.
A lot of fouls, physical start. Gale's got to try to find their offense a little bit here on the road, but the rivalry, it's a special one.
We'll talk about that when we come back. Well, why do we always say how great this rivalry is? The results prove it out. I mean, we've had so many classic games between these two teams. But one reason, Sean, is they play so dang often. If you go back to 2010, no two teams in college basketball have met more often than these two.
And they also have the highest combined winning percentage of any two teams from any conference that's played at least 3 seasons together over that same stretch. It has been a phenomenal run for these two programs and how elite they have been. Now, the Zags have got the better of the Gales. But if you look and see how the other teams in the country have fared against the Zags, nobody's fared better than the Gales.
St. Mary's still looking for their first made shot from the field, and they're only down 5, which is pretty remarkable.
Well, and big news, Ben Gregg with 2 personal fouls goes to the bench. Now you got Dusty Stromer guarding Augustus Marshallonis.
Double team came on Saxon, and Nemhard got his hand on the pass.
Tell me that wasn't scouting report defense. They worked on that, and Brian Michelson was saying, hey guys, when we leave, our hands have to be up, and Nemhard did a great job defensively and almost came up with the big shot.
Offensive rebound for Watson, and then he lays it in. Again, St. Mary's, at some point, they are going to have to make some shots from the floor.
Good point, Dave. They don't call you the best play-by-play man in the business for nothing.
0 for 8. Saxon against Watson. Watson already has a foul. Marshallonis shoots the 3. No good. 0 for 9.
Zags have really done a great job dictating the type of shots that St. Mary's has gotten.
Ike goes to work, and Saxon.
That's a dumb foul right there by Mitchell Saxon, who's had some foul issues against Gonzaga in previous meetings. I mean, that is just you're in good position and you get a little bit lazy and you have a mental breakdown and you just forget what you're supposed to do and you reach and lunge from behind. That is an easy call, and it puts you to the bench.
And he comes out, and I think Randy Benn is probably telling him maybe an abbreviated version of exactly what you just said.
Did I speak too long there for you?
Well, not for me, but okay. I think Randy doesn't have that much time over there. Harry Wessels is in, and Ike goes right around him and scores.
Wessels has got to stay down. And not an elite shot blocker. Just stay down and wall up.
He's the biggest guy out here.
What a start for Gonzaga. We talked about this the other night. They started playing like they're playing against LMU. That was the first time you and I really saw them play with joy and freedom. They've been able to carry that over, at least early here this evening.
Shot clock down to 5. Marshallonis went right by Stromer, dishes to Jefferson, who scores with a foul. So there's your first basket for St. Mary's, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
Graham Ike at the other end of the floor. Watch this. And just playing so well as of late, 20 points or more in 4 out of the last 5 games. And then at the other end of the floor, Stromer gets beat on the drive, and then the help side late rotation fouls. I think he's better served by just letting that one go because Jefferson was already up into his shot motion, and it gives him a three-point play.
Randy Bennett just called Big Wessels over to the bench, and I read his lips. He said, "Stay down." He did.
That's what I said.
I know. Giving you credit. Ike, every once in a while he'll shoot one from out there. I think,
but that's one St. Mary's will give up. So if they can bait him into taking those shots, even though he's proven he can make that shot every now and then, that's a lower percentage shot than a post up for Ike.
Good hustle by Wessels, but Ike is in there and he rips the ball away. And did they call a jump ball?
I can't see. The cheerleaders in the student section are blocking.
We are totally, completely walled off from what just happened.
Great hustle, though, and it's a poor pass angle there. Really difficult to drop that pass in and allow it to be successful. They called the jump ball before it was ripped away. I think the Gales were fortunate on that one. Aiden Mahaney needs to get going. He has been in a cold streak as of late, and he needs to find his shot, and that one wasn't close.
Not close.
Dave, he's just 2 of 16 from beyond the arc for the last 3 games, and he's one of the better shooters in the conference. And for the Gales to win on the road, it's not that you have to do something superhuman, right? And I think when Randy talked about composure earlier today, what he's talking about is just do your job. Just do what you do every single game, and you give yourself a chance to find a way to win on the road.
And for Mahaney, part of that job, Hickman rolls it in with a foul. What a shot by Nolan Hickman. Well, what a scene. Frenzied here inside the kennel. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham, great to have you with us. Those of you joining us after watching Tennessee come up with a great win on the road in Lexington. A terrific day of college hoops, and we finish it off here with the best rivalry in this sport out west. St. Mary's and Gonzaga, top 2 teams in the league, and the Gales are the team coming into this game undefeated in conference play. St. Mary's 8-0, Gonzaga 7-1. But the early story, Sean, the defense of Gonzaga has been suffocating.
It's been outstanding. St. Mary's just 1 of 11 from the field so far, and they've had even opportunities where they've got second, third chances because of offensive rebounds. But every shot has been a contested shot. The positioning defensively by Gonzaga has been elite.
1 of 11.
And as you astutely pointed out when we were on ESPNU, you have to make shots to win basketball games.
It was one of my better points this year, I thought. Josh Jefferson hits the jumper, and he's the guy who started to get it going a little bit.
He's made both their shots so far in this game.
Well, Stromer could not save the ball in bounds. That's a transition turnover for Gonzaga.
They missed Jefferson in the spot up in the corner there. I think he's a matchup issue, and I think you've got to start playing with him and allow Mahaney to find his rhythm organically, because Mahaney's been struggling over the last 3 games. This has got to be a shot for Jefferson.
Yeah, that's a mismatch. He didn't get it to go, though. He was looking for a call.
That's a travel.
That was. Anton Watson got away with one, and now they call Jefferson for the reach-in. So that'll take us to a timeout. Best rivalry out west. So many classic games between these two. Great scene inside the kennel, and an early 14-7 Zags lead. You know, Gonzaga's been a power for a long time. Not so for St. Mary's. Sean, January 2011, you and I were here. Mickey McConnell. Look at those shorts. That does date that video. A game-winning, buzzer-beating shot. St. Mary's won 73-71. One of many classic games in the history of this rivalry. And you and I think that is kind of the moment when this thing took off. St. Mary's announced, hey, we can challenge the Zags in this league.
Look, the first and only way you do that is by winning on this floor. I mean, winning your home games is not good enough. And you look at this rivalry, most played since 2010 in all of college basketball. The highest combined winning percentage between two programs in one single conference that has played more than 3 years because of realignment, obviously, that in all of college basketball. I mean, this has been an elite rivalry between two coaches and two programs that are not afraid to compete, have gone to NCAA tournaments, have won games. You know, the Gales have won games. The Zags obviously well noted for the games they've won, appearing in 2 national championships in 2017 and 2021.
Off the inbound, Anton Watson missed the shot. Jefferson rebound.
Gales have got to be able just to breathe and try to find a good look. Jefferson has been the only one that's gotten really clean looks early in this game. Saxon back into the game after sitting on the bench early. They got a good switch on him. He's just got to go up with it.
He does, and he scores.
They got the mismatch. They got the switch. EK was out guarding Marshall Otis. You've got to give it to Mitchell Saxon early. He cannot put the ball on the floor. He's got to just turn and go straight up like he did on that possession.
Stromer down the lane. Dusty Stromer shot rejected. St. Mary's could not save it in bounds. Wow, what a block.
Good rotation. The young freshman drives in the paint.
I mean, Luke Barrett's not the guy you'd sort of peg to come up with that kind of...
He's an all-effort guy, though, and I like the fact that he's in the game right now because St. Mary's has been pretty flat, and Barrett is a guy that can provide some energy and a little bit of toughness.
Nice runner. Anton Watson so good at those kind of shots. And St. Mary's still only 3 of 14. In some ways lucky they're only down 7.
They're extremely lucky. They're only down 7. You just got to take it one possession at a time. And they got a good switch again. I'd go right back to Mitchell Saxon. He had Dusty Stromer on him. Anton Watson's trying to communicate with him, and there's no communication. That left that 3.
Mahaney corner buries it.
And that, you know, Anton Watson just threw his hands up because he told Dusty Stromer, get away, go get there, and Stromer ignored him. Either that or didn't hear him.
I would listen to Anton Watson, personally. Watson wasn't expecting the pass, tries to save it in bounds, couldn't do it. So that's a Gonzaga turnover. St. Mary's gets the ball back.
That last possession defensively, Anton Watson is pointing, go get him, go get him, go get him. Stromer was guarding nobody. And quick ball reversal, and Aiden Mahaney makes the first 3 of the game. The teams were combined 0 for 9 from deep until that 3. And now it's a 4-point game. Can you weather the storm early if you're St. Mary's and all of a sudden build some confidence? Last couple of possessions have looked better.
Marshall Otis has had a quiet start considering how well he's been playing. Barrett had an open 3, didn't take it, decided to drive. Now the shot clock down to 3, down to 2. Mahaney. Offensive rebound, Jefferson. Couldn't go back up with it, so he finds Mahaney, who hits this one.
That is what they do. I mean, they wear on you because they're such an elite rebounding team. Top 5 in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. That's their 5th offensive rebound of the game.
Great big-time rebound by Jefferson. Now the steal. Marshall Otis goes coast to coast, lays it in, and somehow St. Mary's leads this game. Blocking foul against Mahaney.
The Gales don't score in transition a lot. But Hickman just lost the ball, and Marshall Otis picks it up. They started the season, I think St. Mary's, and Randy Bennett told us, he goes, hey, we want to play a little bit quicker. We want to play a little bit quicker. And as the season has progressed, they haven't played any quicker. They've actually slowed it right back down. And that's also in step with when this team started to play better over the last 16 games.
Kind of getting back to what they've always done well. Now, Mahaney, that was his 2nd foul. So Jordan Ross, who has not played many minutes, young player, freshman, is in the game for Mahaney. Ike elevates, misses. Ross immediately grabs the rebound.
Big minutes for a freshman that was for a long portion of his career in high school out of Arizona Compass Prep. A top 100 recruit, according to Paul Being Party.
Gonzaga so far doing a good job of cutting off those drives from Marshall Otis. Trying to find Saxon. Nice catch. Saxon got blocked. I thought that was an automatic 2. Now Watson with the quick spin.
ball screen action has caused some problems. As St. Mary's goes to their drop coverage, Saxon isn't really getting back, and it's allowing Ike to get the position he wants.
Nemhard just kept going. Tough finish by Ryan Nemhard. Barrett drives against Stromer and just kind of flung it up. No good. Poked away. Ross dives on the floor. And
they're going to call a foul on Hickman, I believe.
I think they are.
Well, Nolan Hickman, we talked about him off the top of the broadcast, playing some of his best basketball in the last 7 games, averaging 17-plus points per game. But as this coaching staff will tell you, a really good defensive player that's really important. Nemhard's done a better job controlling the ball, and the Zags are up by 1.
Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham here in Spokane. Sean, what a great day for college hoops today.
The matchups that you saw all day on ESPN, Houston, Kansas, the way Kansas came out and shot the ball and executed. Johnny Furphy, just unbelievable how he stepped up. And obviously Hunter Dickinson, Carolina Duke, the rivalry that never fails to deliver. Huge contest there between those two teams. Harrison Ingram, an outstanding effort. And look at the big games from a lot of great players. Bring your attention to Fuz Traore. That's a BYU team that has been largely reliant upon the three-point shot this year, and they are one of the best offenses in the country. He missed a substantial time with a hamstring injury. They beat Texas at home. They go on the road to win at West Virginia today. Mark Pope's team ranked in the top 25, playing well.
Can I make one point?
You always can, Dave.
Now, BYU, largely the same team from last year. Largely struggled in the West Coast Conference. So if you're a general college basketball fan finishing off your night watching this game wondering how good really is the WCC, BYU leaves the league. They never won a WCC championship. They leave the league, and now they're in the top 25 beating Big 12 teams on the road.
Yeah, very impressive. And I think it's a good point, and it's the point that we talked about earlier in this game with these two coaches and how they've elevated these programs. And Mark Few's been doing it for a long time, looking to go to 25 consecutive NCAA tournaments this year. Randy Bennett, year after year, has had the Gales in consideration in the postseason. How about that shot by Ross?
Oh, Jordan Ross has come off the bench again, a kid who's just not playing very much, and he looks ready to go. Speaking of not playing very much, Luka Krajinovic is in for the Zags. Just got healthy, broke his hand, and missed a lot of time. Ben Gregg back in with 2 fouls. Buries with 3.
He's been so important. When they took Dusty Stromer out of the starting lineup and put Ben Gregg in, he's been the second leading rebounder on the team since that moment, and he has done such a great job of adding a little bit of toughness and a little bit better consistency from beyond the arc than what Stromer was bringing. It also takes pressure off of Dusty and allows him to be maybe more comfortable off the bench. How about Ross? No hesitation.
Confident, open 3, but missed it. And here come the Zags wanting to run. Nemhard got cut off, and they'll call a foul against St. Mary's.
I thought Nemhard was a little bit out of control as he went up the floor there and just left his feet. Sometimes you can speed Nemhard up, and at times when he's had turnover issues, he's made plays like this. I mean, just leaving his feet, really not driving to the basket, just driving to really no man's land on that play.
And whatever you think about the call, he did get bailed out there.
For sure.
He didn't have a real good place to go.
What I would focus on more, if you're a Gonzaga fan, is when Nemhard has been successful, he has turned in transition and attacked the paint. He has not attacked the line between the paint and the three-point line and just kind of gone into that gap. He has drawn to the paint and brought that defense in and been able to find players on the outside.
Dukas and Mahaney back in for St. Mary's. Anton Watson working against Jefferson. That's a really good matchup. Gregg got a hand on the rebound, and Watson throws it down.
The dunk is great, but the better play was by number 33, Ben Gregg. The effort to get his hand on that ball.
Shot clock at 3, at 2. High arcing 3, no good. And Greg, another rebound for Ben Gregg. Nembhard, step through, missed it. Tipped up by Greg, no good. And finally, Dukas rips the ball away. Man, Ben Gregg is out there playing hard.
That's his role. And every game just makes something happen, and he has done that.
Over the top to Saxon, who was alone under the basket but was stumbling, so he gave it up.
At times his base is too narrow. It was there. Lucky that he was able to gather himself without traveling.
First shot from the field, second rather for Marciulionis. Back to a 1-point lead for Gonzaga. His dad was a great player, and Augustus Marciulionis is turning into a great player in his own right, but he let Nembhard go right by. Bucket and a foul.
And that's going to be Marciulionis' second personal foul. So you got Mahaney with 2, Marciulionis with 2. But this is when Nembhard is at his best. Read a screen, find a seam, late rotations. One of the things that St. Mary's usually does a good job of defensively is showing in gaps and not allowing a lane to create like that. That seam actually started as soon as he came off the screen because Mahaney didn't pinch in and show. That created that gap and then put Mitchell Saxon in a bad situation on the back line. So
Marciulionis has to come out of the game. We'll see for how long. Randy Bennett very willing typically to play players in foul trouble. Nembhard completes a three-point play. And once again, young Jordan Ross back out there in a big game. Dribbles through the pressure and doesn't go over that midcourt line.
I like the level of aggressiveness that he's playing. I mean, he doesn't look like a guy that hasn't played a lot of minutes lately and hasn't been asked to do a whole lot.
Braden Huff in the game. Mahaney goes right by him. Switch to the left hand. Saxon puts it in.
Mitchell Saxon is the 6th best offensive rebounder in all of college basketball. Averages over 4 offensive rebounds per contest. He has 3 already in this game.
And Mahaney, give Mahaney some credit there for the aggressive move to set up that board. Nice touch pass. Huff scores. Dumps it down again with the left hand. So Saxon coming to life here.
I think one of the biggest keys in this game is Mitchell Saxon staying on the floor and avoiding foul trouble. He picked up one, and Randy Bennett brought him off the floor, talked to him a little bit. He's been much more effective since he's come back on the court.
Nembhard pull up. Good. Just stop and let the defense go by.
He has really settled into this offense. Took a little bit of time. That's a dangerous pass.
Dukas then found Jefferson. Mahaney, open 3. That's his 3rd of the first half.
For a young man that had been 2 of 16 over the last 3 games, just 12%. He's one of the best shooters in the West Coast Conference. He's showing up right now, and they couldn't be in this game if Mahaney doesn't show up and compete tonight.
Wow, Nembhard behind the back. Ross then actually stripped it. It went off of Ross and out of bounds. Timeout on the floor.
Environment of college basketball always makes it special. And the kennel never disappoints when we show up here. It's one of the best student sections in the country. That's what it's all about.
Our next ESPN Big Monday doubleheader in the ACC, Miami, Virginia, 7 Eastern. Kansas State in Manhattan, 9 Eastern coming up on Monday right here on ESPN. Speaking of the kennel campout, Sean, the young men behind us.
Those guys, those 5 guys right there.
It's Noah, Jack, Nick, Sam, and Nathan in the white hat.
In the white hat, Nathan is noted as the fastest senior on campus. He was the first guy in line and got tent number 1, which means they got to pick any seat in the entire building, and they wanted to sit behind you.
I am a little honored that that's the first choice right there. Those were the first 5 students in the building before the game tonight, and the place they ran to was right behind us.
They're good seats, but they wanted to be close to Fleming.
There's a whole system about how you get the positioning.
They send out
a tense.
They send out like a text alert, and they give hints as they're kind of going along, and then all of a sudden, the people that run it go out and they say, we're here, and you got to run there, and it is a sprint across campus. So like these 5, I said, what we should get into different locations and just try to be close enough that they could get there.
Nemhard, tough shot again, Ryan Nemhard.
How well is he playing? 5 of 7 from the floor, 12 points here in the first half for Ryan Nemhard, the transfer from Creighton. We talked about Harrison Ingram, his first time playing in the rivalry game between Duke and Carolina. And this is Ryan Nemhard's first time playing in the rivalry game between St. Mary's and Gonzaga.
Saxon against Ike with the left hand.
Too deep a position. Graham Ike's got to force him off the block and catch it a little bit further out or up the line.
Nolan Hickman flipped it up, no good. Ball tipped around Jefferson. Marshallona's back in the game with his 2 fouls. Jefferson, nice move on Ike.
His confidence level and where he's grown this year, in particular coming off the bounce and being able to find a rhythm into his shot, I think that's his biggest area of growth.
That was good defense there by Saxon without fouling. So St. Mary's, just about a minute to go. Somehow, some way, they have the ball with a 1-point lead.
And they've been able to weather some foul trouble as Mahaney or Marshallonis. Ross has played some really big minutes here in the first half.
Jefferson again going to work. Very patient. Came up short though. And the Zags have the ball.
Rare time that the Gales haven't aggressively attacked the offensive glass, and they would have had an offensive rebound there because Gonzaga didn't corral it cleanly. But I think part of that's because the Zags have had so much success playing ahead of the defense.
17-second difference. Hickman runner. Good. Soft touch. Zags back in front.
Final shot here. I'd like to see Mitchell Saxon get his hands on the ball after a screen and a dive to the paint. Here comes the screen. Good communication by Ben Gregg to switch out of it.
Ross gets a shot up. No good. And the buzzer sounds. What a half in Spokane.
What would you expect? I mean, look, Gonzaga got out early, and they had a lead of 9 at 14-5, and then the Gales started to simmer down and calm themselves down. The execution much better down the stretch of the first half, and a 1-point game going to the break.
So much to talk about on the men's side and on the women's side as well. Another huge game for Caitlin Clark. We've got our Jeep halftime report from the studio coming up after the break. From Spokane, where the Kennel has just been pumping all game long. Zags got off to a great start. Gales responded. And we go to halftime with the Gonzaga Bulldogs leading the St. Mary's Gales 34-33. Half here in Spokane inside the Kennel, and the Zags a game behind St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference with a 1-point halftime lead. Dave Fleming, Sean Farnham back here. Buckle up. I think we're going to have a great finish.
That was a great first half, and it was really a first half that was sluggish for the Gales, and all of a sudden things got going, in particular from beyond the arc for Aiden Mahaney, and they're going to need a lot more of this. But look at the quality of shot that he was able to get. Slow rotation, too much space. Mahaney gets his first shot from the corner. Now it's on an offensive rebound, kick out, long closeout, another 3. Mahaney's done a good job moving to try to relocate. The other guy that got going after he took his first break was Mitchell Saxon. Good, deep post position. Not a great shot blocking team from the Gales, so he's got to go up stronger in the paint and be a little bit more efficient. Speaking of efficient, it wasn't about the assist, it was about reading the defense. All of these shots by Ryan Nemhard are coming off of on-ball screens where he has composure, has balance, has his base underneath him. 5 of 7 shooting. They could not get in the gaps, and when they don't get in the gaps and he sees the seam, he attacks, and his ability to finish with 12 points in the first half
Really good effort out of him. They'd like to see some of the others, I think, get involved. Anton Watson did a good job. But Nolan Hickman is a guy that's been playing really well as of late, and they need him to get going here in the second half.
Nemhart leads everybody with those 12 points. Gonzaga getting so many points in the paint, as you described. Josh Jefferson playing so well for St. Mary's. Amazing. Gales started 0 for 9. They didn't make a shot for the first 6 minutes of the game, and yet we start the second half with just a 1-point Gonzaga lead. So here we go. Huge game in this conference. If the Gales could find a way to win, they'd have a 2-game lead.
And already have swept Santa Clara.
Already won at San Francisco.
USF. Yeah, I mean, it would really open things up for the Gales with a win. But good job by Hickman to get downhill. I said they needed to get him going in opening possession. Nolan Hickman comes off that left to right and looks to drive and attack.
Now St. Mary's has it for the first time in the second half. Alex Dukas didn't score in the first half. Jefferson went baseline and scores with the left hand.
Too easy. Just a straight line, baseline drive, gather and go up.
You said it, one difference for Gonzaga this year. And there's no Brandon Clark, there's no Chet Holmgren. The shot blocking around the rim is not there. Anton Watson, who's got the ball here, is a great defensive player. Makes a spin move, and he got fouled.
Let's go look back on that first possession. Hickman just 2 of 4 shooting, hadn't really gotten engaged in the game. I promise you we're going to try to show it.
And maybe the biggest part of that was only 4 shot attempts in the first half.
For a guy, you know, one of the things is just the composure of understanding, like, don't force it, right? Like, that's always been a staple here for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, is not forcing the shots.
First of 2 for Watson, who of all the great things he does, not a great free throw shooter, but he made them both.
That allows them to get in the press. St. Mary's, when they get stops, much easier for them to get the ball and initiate their offense because the Zags are dropping into that press on made field goals. Good cut.
What a pass by Dukas and a great cut for the easy layup. So now Jefferson, first St. Mary's player into double figures. He's got 11. Ben Gregg, catch and shoot 3. No good. Ike grabs the rebound, and they'll call a foul.
Who is that foul on? They call it on Mitchell Saxon. Let's go back to the previous possession, though, Dave. The movement off ball. There's the screen and poor communication. Jefferson able to finish.
We took you into another dimension. How cool is that?
There's nothing that we can't do in the truck.
That was on Saxon, his second personal foul. Watson elevates, missed it though. Great look, just didn't score.
Both these teams pretty similar as far as shot blockers go around the rim. Saxon's tall and long, but not an elite level shot blocker. They wall up defensively.
Jefferson right now, he's kind of acting like a bully. Like he knows he can get close to the basket, scores. Another one.
That is 6 points to start the second half for Jefferson. He has scored every single point here in the second half for the Gales.
Hickman with the left hand, no. And Jefferson's also grabbing just about every rebound. Mahaney gets it back from Dukas. Spin move from Saxon. Ike, good defense.
He opens his shoulders too much there. He just needs to go up with one hand. He turns with 2, but opens his shoulders too wide.
Ike, quick start, mostly quiet since then. Gregg, offensive rebound, and puts it back.
He had great activity in the first half, and second half again, getting on the offensive rebound, manufacturing points.
This team changed, you said it, this team changed when he entered the starting lineup.
Grew up just idolizing this program. Grew up in this area before he moved to Oregon.
Mahaney, tough shot.
How much fun is this? I mean, we thought this game could be really good, and it has had no separation from the late stages of the first half now to the start of the second half.
These are two good teams.
Joe Lenardi, bracketology, talk about where teams are at. Both these teams are NCAA tournament teams.
They're going to call a foul on the floor against Marshallonis. So that's his third. That's a big whistle.
Marshallonis, he's complaining and saying, hey, Nembhard's using his elbow and pushing off on me. But either way, you've got to be smart now. You've got 3 personal fouls. Such an important player for the Gales.
Nembhard shoots the 3. Good! Ryan Nembhard's having only the second 3 for Gonzaga. Saxon against Watson, and no good.
Fading away instead of going towards the bucket.
Nembhard finds the trailer. Now goes baseline. Watson wrap around to Ike, who kind of fumbled it. Here's Hickman 3. In and out. Ike, what a rebound. Had it poked away, but they call a foul.
Back and forth this game has gone, Dave. Ryan Nembhard, first opportunity play in front of this student section. On a night like tonight against this opponent. Understanding the rivalry, seizing the moment so far. 6 of 8, 15 points for Ryan Nembhard. Yeah, you can clap it up.
Well, the tradition of this rivalry is so great here in the Northwest. You know what else is a tradition on the social calendar in Spokane? The annual Farnham Flatbread Fundraiser. And Sean was at it again last night, downtown at the Davenport Tower, taking pictures, making friends, delivering the Farnham Flatbreads. You guys sold a ton of them, with the proceeds going to Coaches vs. Cancer, the American Cancer Society. Good job by you and the Davenport Hotel for partnering with you. Because, I mean, what, last year you raised 25 grand?
Yeah, we look like we're probably going to beat that this year. We broke the record as far as how many we sold. 167. We had great partners. These two Zag fans came together. They raised 5,000. Look at the board. A lot of Farnhams on there.
That's a fact. The computer sort of overloaded.
They're like, enough of the Farnhams. Same thing you say every week when we're working together. Enough of you Farnhams. I know, but it was a great night. And I tell you, it's the thing that people don't understand unless you've been up here before, is just how important this program is to this community, and just how important this community is to this program. I mean, this is a small corner of Eastern Washington. They have sold out every single game that has ever been played in this building. Doesn't matter if the students are in session or not. They rarely lose here. Their success is elite.
And it's why players want to play here. You become a part of the community, not just while you're a player, but forever.
Some of them come back and live here. Even if they weren't from here, they stay here and they live here and raise their families here. It's really unique. Special place in college basketball.
Saxon fell down. Well, Saxon not been as effective here, and Nembhard goes coast to coast, missed it. And now the Gales, maybe a rare chance for St. Mary's to run. Mahaney trailing 3. Good!
How about that for execution?
Mahaney just cool, calm, and collected.
That's the Aiden Mahaney we saw so many times last year as a freshman. Ike on this end.
He gets into double figures now. And these two teams, they execute so well offensively. Both coaches know exactly the matchups that they want to try to exploit. The key is just getting there as frequently as you can, and good job switching out of that role, having Anton Watson drop off of Marshallonis.
Marshallonis, the spin move, got it to go. They didn't call the travel. He sort of fell off balance.
We're going to go right back to Ike at this end.
Yeah. Came up way short, and then Watson ripped it away. They'll call a foul, though, on a reach-in.
Well, and Jefferson had interior position there for an offensive rebound, but as he was trying to box out, he never identified where the ball was.
So they're going to call that a shooting foul for Anton Watson.
That's 3 on Mahaney,
Yeah.
3 on Saxon, 3 on Marshallonis, and we got 13 minutes left to go.
Women's basketball triple header for you on Sunday on ESPN2 in the app. Virginia Tech, Carolina, ranked game in the ACC. Number 1 South Carolina, the only undefeated team left, hosting Ole Miss. And then in the Pac-12, number 7 UCLA, number 4 Stanford, 4 Eastern tomorrow Sunday on ESPN2.
How about Virginia Tech? So Elizabeth Kitley, ACC Player of the Year back-to-back years. She just became the 5th ACC player to score over 2,500 points in her career. You'll see her in that first matchup against North Carolina. And that is number 17 versus number 24.
Jefferson lost it. Gonzaga 2-point lead with the ball. Hickman slipped, got his balance. Watson fighting again to try to grab the rebound.
Jefferson looks a little winded right now.
He does. He does. I don't know that he's come out of the game yet tonight. Marshallonis, they left him open, kind of dared him to shoot the shot, and Ike nods his head. He knew he committed the foul. Sean just mentioned it, but Randy Bennett and St. Mary's now trying to manage foul trouble for the final 12:46.
Not a deep team. 11th most minutes played by a starting group in all of college basketball this season. They did not go to their bench. They did not look for their bench to add a lot as far as production goes.
Anton Watson commits his second personal. Neither team very deep, but right now it's the Gales who have more of those issues with their top players in foul trouble. Catch and shoot 3, Mahaney. Not this time. Watson, though, could not save it. I was arguing that he got pushed. His foot ended up out of bounds. St. Mary's, with 20 on the shot clock, will keep the ball.
Alex Dukas is not in foul trouble, but he is on the bench, and he's got 0 points. He had scored in double figures for the first time all season long in 3 consecutive games. He's been a guy that's been around for a long time and made some big shots. With these other guys in foul trouble, he's going to have to step up in the final 12 minutes when he gets back out there.
Wessel's in for Saxon. Marshallonis attacks on Ike, scooped it up. Rebound Gregg. Nembhard just racing into the front court.
He is so quick. You got to bring the double here.
It came a little late. Hickman off the pass out, too strong. Long rebound. Gregg slams into the bleachers right next to us. Man, that had to hurt. He got up and kept going.
Both coaches talked about that today. This is a game where you're going to take some bumps. You're going to fall down. You might get hit in the face. You cannot stay down. You have to get up.
Mahaney in traffic. No good. Man, they're letting him play right now. Watson, again, just had a good look. He's upset at himself, frustrated.
Position defense. Both teams have done a good job of that. That's why neither team has shot the ball excessively well. But in the second half in particular, Gonzaga.
Jefferson, they just left him wide open. Too open almost. Watson's gassed. He's trailing the play. There are a lot of players out there who could use a breather.
And Ben Gregg is just reaching down to his right leg.
Yeah,
remember, he took that fall, and he was reaching down to his lower right leg.
Nembhard wrapped it up, draws the foul.
must-haves in a rivalry game.
Effort. Are you willing to sell out? Ben Gregg did. Took a bad fall.
But you love the effort.
A lot of talk about a lot of hoops on the East Coast.
So how about a little West Coast bias? Juju Watkins last night, if you missed her, number 14, USC knocked off number 4, Stanford. She put up 51 points in the game. 51 points. What a performance by the talented freshman who is the next face of women's college basketball. Jackson Shellstead, man, he has owned USC this year, averaging better than 20 points per game in the 2 win for the Oregon Ducks, shooting 56% from the field in those 2 games. And Max Rice, the son of Leon Rice, the head coach of Boise State, former assistant here at Gonzaga, had 35 in the pit against New Mexico in a big-time win for the Broncos. But Juju Watkins, I talked to Lindsey Gottlieb, the head coach of USC, and she told me, you know, Sean, she does things I haven't seen a player do since I was an assistant with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I said, all right, well, what does that mean? What is she going to bring to the table? And her ability to play with the ball in her hands, create shots, lead the team. I mean, this is a historic performance. Most points by Division I player versus a top 10 opponent in the last 25 years. And one of the very best when you talk about the Stanford Cardinals.
I mean, it's the school record. It's the school of Cheryl Miller.
Yeah.
Like maybe the greatest player of all time.
I mean, just an unbelievable player. And we talk about Caitlin Clark and 38 points, 12 assists tonight for Caitlin Clark. I think she's 66 points away from passing Kelsey Plum's all-time record. But Juju Watkins might be the next one that starts to challenge that a little bit. She's a star.
3-point lead, Gonzaga, St. Mary's ball. Both teams were looking a little fatigued before that last timeout. Tough move, Aiden Mahaney with contact.
Randy Bennett is asking
how that's not a foul. Good job by Mahaney, though, being strong and focused on finishing, not focused on getting the foul.
They've really just decided to let these players play. Nembhard has come to play tonight. He's got 18 now.
He attacks every closeout. Alex Dukas closed out with his hand up and opened up that side of the court, and Nembhard took it.
Jefferson almost lost the bounds. Josh Jefferson, nice little shot fake, but then missed it. Almost uncontested.
Those are shots you have to finish if you want to pull off an upset. That's
offensive foul.
Oh, and Graham Eke was not happy about that, and he is saying some words that you cannot be saying to an official.
Yeah.
Watch this in the screen, and he stepped in. I mean, it's a good call. Part of that, though, the guard has got to do a better job of dropping down lower beneath the level of the screen and then come off the screen. That was the problem here. Hickman was too high, and it forced the step by Graham Eke.
I saw what you saw, Saxon, and they are going to call a foul against Watson. He keeps doing the pull the chair trick against Saxon, and it keeps working. Mitchell Saxon's been off balance, seems like so many times tonight.
It's been his entire career. I mean, throughout the course of his career, there's been plenty of examples of where his base is too narrow or too wide. He's just got to keep it strong underneath.
This time, good balance and the finish off the inbound pass. Back to a 1-point lead. He's a good player.
It's been a one-possession game, Dave, this entire second half. And these are two teams, you have to understand, a loss here by Gonzaga puts them 2 games back. A win here for the Gales, I mean, they're feeling like, hey, this is our conference. The Zags win this game. Now all of a sudden, from a confidence perspective, they're looking ahead going, okay, we got to go to San Francisco still, but it's more of a neutral site game at the Chase Center. We control our own destiny.
Out of bounds, and it'll be St. Mary's ball. Nembhard lost it. Shot clock was all the way down to 2, and Mark Few is going to use a timeout.
The starting lineups have been out there a lot. Guys are gassed. I think you're going to see coaches using some of these timeouts down the stretch just to give a little bit of an extra breather for both of their teams.
Our our next ESPN Big Monday doubleheader starting the ACC Miami, Virginia, and Charlottesville, 7 Eastern, and then the great Sunflower Showdown. Hunter Dickinson, number 8 Kansas, squaring off against Camp Carter and Kansas State. Both games available on the ESPN app. You know, Sean, you were talking about Gonzaga and maybe needing this game here tonight for their chances at a conference title. They also really could use a quad 1 win. This would be one, and they haven't had one yet this year.
Well, I think about what a quad 1 win means. First of all, it's a home win against a top 30 ranked team, a top 50 on a neutral site, top 75 on a road site. And look at the win totals over the last 4 years previously. 6, 12, 11, 8. There's 0 there. Now they got opportunities ahead. It's this one tonight. It's Kentucky at Kentucky, St. Mary's at St. Mary's, and then San Francisco at the Chase Center. But you've got to start stacking some of those wins up if you want to start being legitimized as an NCAA tournament team. If you don't, their season comes down to a rare, you've got to win 2 games, 3 games in Las Vegas at the WCC tournament.
Be a lot of pressure on Gonzaga if that's the case. Marciulionis, shot clock winding down, finds Jefferson on the baseline, got to shoot it. Mahaney launches, almost hit it. Wow, what a shot. Then Saxon fighting for the loose ball. Greg on the baseline. Timeout Gonzaga.
Well, that leaves Gonzaga though with only 1 timeout remaining for the final 8 minutes.
I mean, I think Mark Few loves the hustle, and his team will get the ball. However, the point you make is a good one.
Ben Gregg has been all over the floor tonight, trying to make plays to help his team win. What has Ben Gregg meant, not just here tonight, but really since he's been put into the starting lineup? You know, this is a young man that left high school early to join this program, and tonight all he has done is make winning plays. They look at the stat line and you say 9 rebounds, 5 points. You know, is that really impacting winning? If you're a high school player and you're watching this, you want to know how you get minutes on the floor? Make these type of plays. In a rivalry game, what are you willing to sacrifice to gain a possession that might end up helping your team win a contest? That's what Ben Gregg does every single night he plays.
I love the spotlight of a guy who's got, as you said, 5 points, has been one of the best players on the floor. It's not always all about scoring.
But so little of it is actually about scoring. So much of it is about how hard you play, how you compete. What a steal by Marciulionis.
And now the lead to Mahaney, 2-on-1. Mahaney with the left hand, foul on Ike. And Ike's got to be careful. He almost got, I thought, he almost got a technical a couple minutes ago, and he just screamed at that official again.
That's pretty darn clean there, partner. This goes up. I don't think he made a lot of contact there. This is the angle. Watch this angle. Where's the contact? I mean, a little bit on the follow-through, but the shot was already up. Mahaney's already out of bounds.
That free throw ties the game.
I love the level of aggressiveness, though, from Aiden Mahaney. You know, there's been a lot of times we've called big games for Aiden Mahaney, and he's primarily done his work on the outside, but tonight he's been much more assertive, driving the paint, being aggressive, and playing strong going to the basket.
And I'm good with Ike being competitive and into this game, but you just gotta, you can't go over that line. Could be the difference. Another ball that Marciulionis gets a hand on and tips out of bounds. Zags have turned it over their last 3 times down the court. Shot clock winding down. Nemhard gets one up. No good. Rebound St. Mary's.
And that's a double-double, I believe, for Jefferson now. Or 1 rebound shy, excuse me. He's got 13 and 9. He has given all that he can. They played through him, and they're doing it again. What a play by Ike.
Dukas tried to hit Jefferson, and Ike got a hand on it.
Yeah, it should have been a bounce pass. It was a straight-line pass that was right waist level. Easy for Ike to get his hands to deflect that one away.
Watson, quick move to the baseline. Gonzaga back ahead.
I think you're going to be saying there's going to be Gale's back in front, Zag's back in front the rest of the way. This has been a one-possession contest the entire second half.
Jefferson, no foul. Tough runner for Nembhard. Got knocked just enough off balance, missed a shot. Alex Dukas, who's got the ball here, still has not scored in this game. Marciulionis, no! Ike against Saxon. Ike, they'll call a foul. He started to lose control of the ball.
That's his fourth foul on Mitchell Saxon. You got to imagine that Wessels is going to have to check into the game here. There'll be a timeout for Randy Bennett to talk it over, but Mitchell Saxon's going to come out of this game for at least a couple of minutes. If you can get him to the under 4 and then get him back in, I think that'd be a smart play. But you leave him out here right now, they're going to go right back to Ike and try to get that 5th foul on him.
All right, Sunday on ESPN. Tomorrow, Kawhi and the Clippers play the 6th game of a 7-game road trip. What do you like to call it?
It's the Grammy trip, because the Grammys are in Crypto Arena in Los Angeles.
Yeah, a little insider knowledge. Jimmy Butler and the Heat against the Clippers. Heat have lost 7 in a row. Tomorrow, Sunday, 6 Eastern on ESPN.
And how about the Clippers' best record in the NBA since December 1st? And Tyronn Lue has been named Coach of the Month in back-to-back months. And a big part of that is how they've gelled with James Harden.
A guy, Tyronn Lue, who's worked closely with Mark Few, Team USA.
Yeah. And Mark Few looking forward to getting to Paris over the summer. But right now, he's focused on the final 5:33 of this one in front of this student section in a 1-point game that would bring them to a tie atop of the WCC. I want to go to Paris.
The Olympics in Paris, that sounds pretty good to me. We talked to Mark about that. He's very much looking forward to it, having his kids over there with him. Ike at the free throw line, out of the timeout. Front end of the 1-and-1. He makes it. Earns his second. We saw Ike, a game where Gonzaga was missing a lot of free throws down the stretch on this court against San Francisco, and it almost cost him the game, but Ike made his. A lot of pressure free throws in that one. Makes them both here. Saxon still in the game with 4 fouls.
I'm really surprised. This next possession, they've got to post Ike out. The other part of it is Saxon likes to attack the offensive glass. He's got to be careful on offensive rebounds as well.
Ike, he's going right to the line with these officials. And again, I don't mind it. It's an edgy game. It's a huge game. You just wouldn't want to say the wrong thing and potentially have that be the difference in the game. And for Ike, that's his 4th personal.
So Huff is going to check into the game, and Huff tonight has only played 2 minutes. And Ike has been a centerpiece here in the second half in the attack for the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Ike's played the most minutes he's played in his Gonzaga career here tonight. Off the inbound, Mahaney. This is a good matchup for Saxon, you figure. With the left hand, he scores off the glass.
Smart. He engaged one time with his upper body that made contact with the chest. Did not do it a second time. Spun off of him. You go a second time in, that's going to be an offensive foul if Huff sells it. Mahaney's done a really decent job defensively here tonight, too, on Nolan Hickman. Lost him that time.
Hickman drives against him, missed the shot. Another rebound for Josh Jefferson. That is his 10th.
Hickman just 3 of 10 shooting tonight, 0 of 3. And they got a foul on Huff.
Away from the ball.
Pushing Saxon away from the basket.
Long way from the basket.
The free throws here, 1-on-1. If Saxon can make it, we can be tied. But going back to Aiden Mahaney, we talk so much about his offensive game, and really his weakness at times has been his ability to defend. But he's done a good job fighting through screens and competing tonight.
Tie game. I think we've seen some spectacular from Aiden Mahaney in his young career, but I think all around this is one of the best games I've seen him play.
And he's 6 of 15 shooting.
Again,
but you're right.
Not all ways about shooting and scoring. 1 of 2 for Saxon.
And everybody here in the kennel is on their feet.
Everybody.
This is just a spectacular environment.
Okay, almost everybody.
There's a couple people.
Marciulionis almost got that steal. Huff shoots the 3. In and out. Almost went down the big man from outside. Tie game under 4 minutes to go. Ike makes his way to the scorer's table. Draws the contact, scores.
What a finish by Mahaney. Over the length, extending out with a soft touch off the glass.
That reminded you of Mahaney down the stretch last year in Moraga against Gonzaga. Down low, Huff kind of fumbled it. Saxon's got those 4 fouls. Greg didn't shoot the 3. Shot clock down to 5. Hickman crossover. No good. Jefferson. Good box out there of Anton Watson.
This has been a fantastic game.
Great game.
What a way to end college basketball today on ESPN with all the great matchups we had between top 10 teams. They may not have the rankings next to their name, but both of these teams feel like they're NCAA tournament teams. They're competing for first place.
Jefferson 3. What a shot from Josh Jefferson. And Mark Few uses his final timeout. St. Mary's has a 5-point lead.
Execution in pivotal moments. Aiden Mahaney attacks a player who's only played 2 minutes all night long. With the off balance shot extending away, they go under on the screen. Jefferson steps back. Huge 3 and the largest lead of the night
for the St. Mary's Gales.
All right, coming up right after we're done, Sports Center is next. College hoops. Caitlin Clark pushing close to the all-time scoring record. LeBron at the Garden and much more. 2 of Sean's very best friends, Nicole Briscoe, Michael Eaves, standing by.
They cannot wait for this game to end and take over through Sports Center, but the way this game is going, it could go overtime.
Could.
Aiden Mahaney, he's doing all he can right now to make sure it doesn't go into overtime. His level of aggressiveness, how confident he has been throughout the course of the night has been sensational against the Bulldogs.
He is 7 of 16 shooting. He's got 20 points.
And he's feeding off the emotion of the kettle.
And if you're going to try to win here, you have to, as Coach Randy Bennett told us earlier, composure. How do you use the energy of the building to fuel you? And Aiden Mahaney has done that here tonight.
That was such a cool little moment. Mickey McConnell, who hit that huge shot, what now, 13 years ago, we showed earlier, with a quick word for Mahaney as they run back on the court. Gonzaga ball, down 5. Ike back on the floor with 4 fouls. offense got cut off. Taking a lot of time. Greg, three, no good. He knew he missed it, followed his own miss, and that's going to be a goaltend. The rim was grabbed. Ben Gregg knew it, crashed the boards, and he'll get credit for the two.
Yeah, definitely right call by the officials. And they're calling a foul on it as well?
Wow.
And Randy Bennett is beside himself.
They're calling a foul on who?
They don't even know who the foul is on, but a foul has been called. And that is a big, big play. And again, it's Ben Gregg just being a hustle. You know, just hustle. Randy Bennett's going, you got to be kidding me.
But missed the shot and just aggressively attacked.
He goes in here.
I don't know who the foul is on.
I mean,
look, I think that's a bad call.
Luke Barrett fouled Mitchell Saxon. And their teammates. We're trying to find out who they called. It's obviously huge if it's on Mitchell Saxon. That's number 5.
Well, they don't know how the foul's on. They just came and told me, hey, we're reviewing the goaltend, but it's, you know, it's a foul. There was a foul called.
Okay.
But they don't know who the foul is on still.
So the foul.
I mean, you found Mitchell Saxon out on that play. I'm telling you, that is a very, very tough call to swallow if you're St. Mary's.
There's no doubt that there is a goaltend because the rim is interfered with. As Barrett comes over the top, he grabs the rim right there. Okay, that is a goaltend. No problem. Count the 2.
I'm telling you right now, I didn't see a foul. I saw great hustle from everybody out on the floor in that situation, and I didn't see Ben Gregg looking around going, no, I was fouled on that as well. He was running back on defense.
But the fact of the matter is they've already told us the foul was called.
Yes.
They're reviewing goaltend, which seems crazy to me because wasn't it just an obvious goaltend?
Yeah, but they don't know who the foul's on. So they'll say they're reviewing it so that they can then go try to figure out who the foul is on to correctly assess it.
And Randy Bennett's going, what are we doing here?
Yeah, he's unhappy.
Feels like a big call, doesn't it, with 2:07 left to go in this game?
Well, this is where these big games, pressure moments, you need an experienced officiating crew not to decide the game.
What's that commercial you throw the challenge flag right now?
Like Randy Bennett wishes he had a challenge flag.
You want to review that? Okay.
All right, counting the basket, 1 shot.
I just asked who they called it on. They still don't know who they called it on.
I mean, Mitchell Saxon's on the floor, so I assume it wasn't on him. How can 2 of the 3 officials come over to tell us and neither know who they called the foul against?
They called it on Barrett from behind.
Free throw, no good. And Mitchell Saxon tracks down the long rebound. After all that, it's just the 2.
Unbelievable.
That comes down to what Gonzaga did a really good job of. They've been forcing, for a majority of the first half, they forced the Zags to shoot over contested shots. Second half, St. Mary's shooting 52% from the field. Jefferson has been a guy that they've played through. They go away from him here.
Mahaney on Ike. Ike did a good job, but he dumps it down to Saxon. The ball almost went out of bounds, but before that, you just couldn't hear it. The whistle was blown. It is a foul, and we'll see if that's on Ike.
They called that one, I believe, on Ben Gregg.
Yeah, Ben Gregg.
It is really loud in here. We can't even hear the officials are so quick with it. Usually it's really easy for us sitting here to see this. All right, let's settle back in here, partner, for 136. That one wasn't close.
I mean, he missed that to the side.
62% on the season for Saxon. Just 2 of 5 here tonight.
Three-point game. Nembhard just continuing to attack. Ball swatted out of bounds. Wow. I thought that one was off Gonzaga. And they're going to say, yeah, St. Mary's ball.
They're going to review it.
They will review it. But they changed the call before they reviewed it. Looked to me like EK swatted it out of bounds.
Yeah, very little doubt on that.
Look, main thing is get the call right.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I have no problem in a game like this. 1 possession, 119 left. You want to go look at this, that's fine. Now, let's talk a little bit here. I do wonder, I know it's a 1 possession game, but Mitchell Saxon, if he touches the ball, do you foul him?
You might consider it.
He is 2 of 6 from the free throw line. The last 2 weren't even close.
No. And you know these fans in here, if he goes back to the free throw line, are going to ratchet up the pressure.
Because I feel what they're going to do is they're going to try to get a switch. And they're going to try to get Aiden Mahaney with EK on him and then try to go at it.
To me, that's pretty clear.
Yeah. I'm already past that. I'm already focused on what St. Mary's should do offensively. I think they're going to look for that switch, get EK on to Mahaney, and then look to drive and attack him, and then play off of that if he gets shut down like he did on the previous possession. I think if you're Gonzaga, what you want to do is make sure you wall up defensively. You do not foul underneath. If you give up deep post position to Mitchell Saxon, though, I would foul him. But it can't be EK.
Yeah, they need EK on the floor. He's got 4 fouls. Saxon has 4 fouls.
One of the biggest things they've done better defensively, the Gales here in the second half, is Gonzaga's only shot 29% from the field here in the second half. It's that they've cut off the lanes for Nembhard. They have not allowed Nembhard to get a seam and attack.
Pressure from Gonzaga.
Here's where they're going to try to get that switch again. They got the switch.
Mahaney tries to save it, does. Marshallonis, 3, good! They're going to review it with the shot clock expiring and make sure it was a 3. A near turnover turns into a 3 for St. Mary's.
That possession looked like it was going absolutely nowhere.
And we started the broadcast telling you that Augustas Marshallonis has been playing his best basketball he's played all season long. A 30% three-point shooter on the season. He was loose, he was behind the arc. He had no hesitation because he couldn't. He had to let it go.
On the big video board, they're showing Mahaney trying to save the ball in bounds, and the fans here were certain that he was out of bounds. But that's not what they're reviewing.
But they can't go back and review that.
You can't go back
and say he was out of bounds.
No.
And we're going to try to show you the angle so you can see it.
We've had a lot of this in the last couple minutes.
Mark Few is beside himself right now. And we're going to show you the angle. Mahaney was out of bounds. First of all, that's a kick ball. Should have been called. Second one is this. He's out of bounds. And we've got people throwing stuff onto the floor. And this is going to result in a technical. There's trash everywhere on the floor right now. We've had drinks thrown over the top of us.
Can't do that.
And they're still throwing even though they've been told to stop.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I am really surprised with the sheer amount
of what was thrown on the floor. And there's a lot of wet spots now that are going to have to be cleaned up. This wasn't one or two. This was the entire student section. And Randy Benn's like, that should be a technical foul. And he's right.
Listen, I give the Kennel a lot of credit. They are one of the best student sections in the country. You cannot do that.
The officials, they're going to let that slide.
That is gracious. Randy Bennett's going, how is that not a technical foul? So it is a 3 for Marciulionis. There is no technical. St. Mary's lead is 6 with 48.5. Now the game's not over, but Gonzaga needs points and they need them fast.
I'm trying to get downhill quickly here. Best three-point shooter is Nolan Hickman on the floor. He has not gotten loose.
Hickman, Mahaney, more good defense by him. Anton Watson elevates for the 3. Got it! Huge shot for Watson.
They got to handle the press here.
They have timeouts. They get it up the floor. And now St. Mary's is going to hold and give it to Mahaney. And Gonzaga's not fouling him.
About 6 seconds differential.
So a made bucket would almost end it if they take the clock all the way down. Mahaney stops. Mahaney shoots, no good. And a foul on the floor against Gonzaga. And now, if we have
more stuff being thrown on the floor here. Now they just called a shot clock violation. They called a foul. Now they're reversing it to a shot.
This has been chaos here.
Chaos. I mean, frankly, these officials have lost control of this game. It's almost like they're just kind of making it up on the fly.
Well, look, it is a shot clock violation.
I think it was the right call.
It is a shot clock violation, but there's a complete hold underneath from Anton Watson that had been classed down on Mitchell Saxon. The initial indication was that there was a foul. Now that's being reversed. And we still had more stuff being thrown on the floor.
And Nate Harris, I guess in his defense, was behind the play, the guy who called the foul. He couldn't see the shot clock going off. So, but they called the, we saw him walk over to the scorer's table. They wiped off the foul and said shot clock violation. Now they're reviewing that.
Well, the question is, did the foul occur before 0 was on the clock? So that's what they're looking at here in this instance. Okay, so now here you are. The foul has already occurred and there's 1 second left to go on the clock.
So I would not be surprised if they go back and they reverse this.
Oh boy.
And then send Mitchell Saxon to the free throw line with 5 seconds left to go in this game. Or 6 seconds left to go.
Mark Few's drawing it up like he's got the ball down 3.
Well, even down 3, here's what I'm doing if I'm Randy Bennett, I'm fouling.
You're under 7 seconds right now. I would extend out pressure, force them to catch the ball in front of you, allow them to dribble up the floor a little bit, and then foul.
This is kind of the sweet spot for doing it. If you're going to do it, this is almost the exact scenario where the strategy makes the most sense.
And they have struggled from the free throw line.
All right. Mike Littlewood back over to tell us what's going on.
There is a foul before the shot clock went off. They put an extra couple of ticks on the clock. It's now at 6.5,
but it is going to be free throws with Mitchell Saxon at the free throw line.
So now Mark Few is only now did he just find that out.
Ben Gregg was set up for their play. I mean, Gonzaga was set up to take the ball the opposite direction.
Now Saxon, and it's not double bonus.
He's 2 of 6. You make 1, the game is over.
He made it.
What an unreal night.
Wow, The intensity of this rivalry has almost never been this high. Remember also, Gonzaga, no timeouts.
This would give the Gales a 2-game lead in the WCC.
Now, obviously, you don't foul. Missed free throw. Hickman across midcourt. Hickman will heave it up. No good. Watson puts it in. Count that basket. It's not going to matter in the ultimate result. St. Mary's on the road inside the Kennel gets a win, and more stuff coming on the court.
I've never seen that here. We've been here for a long time. I've never seen this much trash continually thrown onto the floor by the student section. It does not take away, though. St. Mary's is undefeated in the WCC. St. Mary's came in here tonight. Aiden Mahaney with 20, Saxon with 15, a double-double from Jefferson. Their guys stepped up and made plays. And in the second half, their defense was elite. They held Gonzaga to just 33% shooting from the floor on their home floor. And the Zags struggled to find their shot from beyond the arc. Just 3 of 14 from deep tonight, Dave. What a win for Randy Bennett and the Gales.
64-62. St. Mary's has the 2-game lead in the WCC. A lot of hoops still to be played. For Sean Farnham, Dave Fleming, SportsCenter coming up now.